Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through every Wednesday night. New topics ignite, join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Life Chat Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to find out what's going on in the world of reality, the world of addiction, the world of recovery, and welcome to our world. So tonight we have our special guest, Miss Mera Shakur, and actually Mera Fraley, but AKA Mera Shakur. So, Miss Mera, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? Who is Mera Shakur?
Well, I am actually from Frederick, Maryland. Mera Shakur is just a name that I embrace Tupac. I love Tupac. I love his message that he sends out. So that's why I call myself Mera Shakur, and just about the life. I have been through a lot, of like trials and tribulations, and I have overcame, who made me who I am today. And I can't believe I am where I'm at, even though I am in a 3.1 house. This is my first time ever, actually, to be in something like this, and this is the first time I'm actually doing this right now. I'm pretty mind blown with myself.
Well, some people that may not know what a 3.1 house is. What is a 3.1 house?
So this is a step down from a rehab that is a 3.7. So if anybody has ever been to like a rehab where you can't go anywhere, a treatment center, you're stuck in there, got to do groups all the time. Like I said, you can't leave. And this is a step down from that, where you have to phase up. They have different phases where you're pretty much being watched by staff, but this is a halfway house. And they wean you back into society. And then they have after this, you can go to a 2.1, which is a sober living house where they don't have that, much of supervision. So they have to bust it down like that. For someone like me, this is what I needed to do, because I don't know what it's like to be a productive member of society, because I've been incarcerated majority of my life. I've been incarcerated altogether for 16 years of my life, and I am 34 now. And I don't know what it's like to be responsible. I don't know what it's like to have a job. I don't know what it's like to actually live in what society would call a normal life. I just was ripping and running, getting high, for being a criminal, basically, in survival mode, So this is actually benefiting me, helping me to actually find myself at that too, and I'm in Salisbury. So, and this is not where I'm from. I don't know anything about this area, which was my first step at that. I'm one of them people that have to change my place and my people and things. I had to completely change everything. And they say, well, no matter where you go, you take yourself. Okay, I understand that. I understand that to the fullest. I get it. But I could not stay where I'm from. I'm currently on drug court too at that. And I'm facing 20 years. And it's a pre-sentencing drug court. So I know out here in Salisbury, they got post-sentencing drug court, which is you have to take a plea deal and that pretty much is what it is. Like they'll say 15 years. If you screw up, that's what it is. Pre-sentencing drug court is if I complete this drug court, and it's in Frederick, if I complete this drug court, they can just throw my case out. And I have never completed anything like that in my life. I don't even know how. Yeah, I have never, like, even probation. Listen, probation. I am a bad candidate for probation. I've got off probation unsatisfactory over 10 times in my life. I've over 32 FTAs. I don't even know how they're even allowing me to even do drug court, which, me personally, the court system, especially around my way, is so backwards. And I just was like, yep, they're really trying to hang me this time. And I have 20 years back up, So if I screw up, they can give me 20 years. And I have a rap sheet, So I came out here to Avenues, this rehab out there in Cambridge. And I fought to be there because Frederick wasn't trying to have me come out here because it's so far away. And I managed to get out here. I was standing on what I really actually wanted. And it's so funny because how I heard about Avenues, there was this place called On Your Own. And I started doing this little program called On Your Own, not because I wanted to really do anything with myself, but because I was homeless and it was cold outside and I didn't, I don't have food or anything and don't have a place to sleep. So I would go On Your Own and get hot coffee and just be warm and stuff. And there was this counselor in there and I would always go in there and talk stuff to him. And I seen these, I was always messing with this guy. So on his desk, they had these fancy brochures, these little pamphlets, and it said Avenues. And I picked it up and I'm looking at it. I'm like, and it said Maryland, a rehab, and I'm looking at it and it's all fancy and stuff.
It was fancy. Yeah, the pamphlet was super fancy.
And I'm like, I look at him, I said, we ain't got none of this stuff around here. And he was like, yes, I mean, it's out in the Eastern Shore. Like, and I was like, Prince Frederick. Hell no, I would never go there. Like,
I think the pamphlet was actually a picture of one that's somewhere else.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was like, the commercials of Malibu or something.
Yeah.
So, and I'm reading it, I'm looking at it, looking at all the stuff on there and things. And I was like, if I ever would decide to get clean, this is a place that I would go at, right? And he's like, are you trying to go? And I said, hell no, I ain't trying to go. Are you kidding me? Yeah, right. I ain't trying to get sober. I'm not. Hell no, I ain't going. Right? I just said, if I ever decided to get clean, this is where I would go. This is nice. This is some nice stuff, I said, because rehab's out in Frederick and Hagerstown, there's some shit, pretty much, And then, I got caught up. I sold some stuff to a undercover cop. And I don't even sell drugs. That's the thing. I'm not even a freaking drug dealer. I smoke drugs. Okay, so that's a thing about it too. And they actually targeted me. And it was just a mind opener for me because it was only a $20 worth of cocaine. Only 20. I didn't have anything else on me. And it still kind of pisses me off. I'm not going to lie. It still kind of pisses me off. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I'm where I'm at today because if that situation had never have happened, I would not be here. But the thing is, it wasn't because, or it's not because I'm facing all this time. It's not because, I got the ankle monitor. It's not because I'm on drug court. I could care less about that because jail or prison doesn't scare me. I've been in there majority of my life. They pretty much raised me in there. That's when I would come into the jail. I call the officers my adoptive parents because they raised me. It doesn't faze me. I'm so comfortable of going in places like that because that's the only way I knew how to live. And I would constantly tell the judges this: Your Honor, no matter where I go, I act like an inmate. I am still an inmate when I hit the streets because that's all I know is to be an inmate. When I go to a grocery store, when I walk down to the street, even when I go in a liquor store, it don't matter where I'm at. Even when I'm with my friends in a park, I'm still an inmate because I'm still not free from the prison that I'm in, and that's just what it is, So today, it's not because I'm deaf, like I said, it's not because of the court system that have me being on the straight and narrow. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so scared. No, it's not what it is. But so the situation that took place was an eye opener for me because I would always crack this joke when I was getting high. Because, people that drive cars and stuff, and you're getting high in the car, and we're like, put that stuff down, it's like, and I'd be like, you guys are stupid, right? So then I'll be like, do you see this rock right here? And I would hold up a 20 piece of rock, and I'd be like, so in the state of Maryland, let's put it this way, in the state of Maryland, this 20 piece of rock could give me 10 to 20 years in jail. And I would say this all the time when I would get high in a damn car because they're idiots. That's what I would say. My friends were idiots. So, and then I would smoke it. And then because I showed them something, and I said, I just knocked this down to a $500 fine, no jail time. Okay. So when this situation had happened, I am literally facing 20 years for a 20 piece of rock. And I said, oh my God. So that right there was my first real spiritual awakening. That's what, because my joke that I would say, and it opened my eyes. I'm sitting in a cell this time, and I'm like, holy hell. This is something's telling me something, And even sitting in the jail, I didn't have the mindset that I have today. But I knew I had to get out of Frederick. But honestly, I thought they were just going to try to give me 5 years. And I was willing to take that. And that's what I was going to go with. I ain't doing no drug court. No, nothing. Give me 5 years and that's all I'm going to do. And I'm good. Nope. Yeah. And they said, if I did not take drug court, that they wanted extensive DOC time. I said, extensive? What do you mean extensive? They wanted between 10 and 20 years. I said, for a 20 piece of rock? Are you kidding me? So I was like, well, why go to prison now when I could go later? Pretty much. That's what I said. So that's what was my mentality. Now, all right, so let's just do it this way. But I kept thinking about avenues. I kept thinking of that brochure. You know what? I think I'm going to try to do something. But I was all by myself. I didn't have anybody. I didn't have no support network. There wasn't nobody, like, I had no family supporting me. Nothing motivated me. There was no motivation, So it is true when they said, you can't do this by yourself. There's no way you can. This disease is something, this battle, this war that you're in within yourself. When it comes to addiction, you can't do this by yourself. And it's crazy because one day while I'm sitting in the jail for this, I got a surprise visit. and it was my aunt. I ain't seen my aunt in over like 10 years. And she brought with her my grandmother's cousin. And I could not believe it. I'm trying not to get emotional about it. But I was like, what the hell is going on? You know? This definitely, that right there was another spiritual awakening for me.
All right.
I did not expect that at all. And I knew right then and there, my higher power, or whatever anybody wants to believe in, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not religious. But I know there's a spiritual being. So whatever spiritual entity or whatever is watching over me was doing something. And she came right on time. I could not believe it. And she, my Aunt Barb, and my cousin Ricky, they gave me, it was like this boost, this motivation for me. So I told her about the programmed avenues. And we fought. So my family fought for me. So that's where I started my support network. Then I had this guy named Tony. He's in a lead program. So I'm building the support network. So I got people riding for me now, which helped me have more, confidence in myself that I can, you know what, I'm going to be okay. I can do this because I have never accomplished anything in my life other than I had a beautiful son, which is 16, and I definitely got my GED when I was in prison. That is the only thing. I have never done anything good within my life. So I've always felt like I was a hopeless cause. I just was just a screw up. That's just was me. I'm wild as hell. There was no way that I would be able to live a good life because that just wasn't in the cards for me. I wasn't that type of one. Not at all. But it gave me, when they did that, it gave me that hope. So my aunt, she is a firecracker. I love it. And she was bucking on the system too. No, we're going to send her to Avenues. And we did not give up. And it took us a while. I got accepted in August, but I didn't get there till December because they were trying to figure out each and every single way for me not to be there. And to mind you, the programs that I was in before, Avenues was my 6th rehab. The rehabs I was in there before, they were 30-day programs, right? Yeah. I was lucky if I was in there for a week. Them rehabs kicked me out quicker than I don't know what. Okay, let me tell you, because I am a handful. Yes, I am a handful. Okay, I'm very misunderstood. I got big energy, and like I said, I really don't know how to act. So, Avenues. I stayed in Avenues for 90 days, and Avenues, they've even extended my time, and they did me a big favor. And I appreciate them. I really do. I appreciate Avenues so much. And I just knew before I even got there that it was something special about Avenues. It was just something special about this place before I even touched down there. And so the thing was with the courts, they were like, well, you complete that program and you're coming back to Frederick. So I'm like, whatever, yeah, cool. So I'm in there and I'm making the most progress I've ever done in my life. And the thing that I respect about Avenues was they did not have these high expectations for me or anyone in there. Okay. The other rehabs I've ever been in, they already expect you to be like a normal being, I guess. I guess they don't expect you to be screwed up. Yeah, Avenues, they expect it. And
that's a reality. That's a reality. That's a reality, yes. Especially when you first come in. Of course, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I respect them for that. And they're going to give it right back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But they do it with this certain type of love and care. Then people that work there, they genuinely, you can feel it. They genuinely care and they have been there. They know what you're going through. And it's just this energy that they bring. And yeah, you got pros and cons. Not everything is going to be peaches and cream. Okay. If anything comes to you easy, then it's just not worth it. But
I want to know.
so
I want to get back to the street life part. I want to know where the journey actually began with, and where did um, Mira first realize that there was an actual problem there. You talked
oh,
about the brochure. You talked about the brochure. So what led to all of that? What was the lifestyle? What was the lifestyle like?
okay. So I was gonna get to that part. All right. So my lifestyle. Let me. So that. All right. My lifestyle. Let's say. Okay. It started very young for me.
No, just a second. Just a second, Mira. I want to hear this loud and clear. So there was a lot of movement and a lot of clicking or noise or something. So we want to hear this loud and clear.
Okay. So it started when I was really young. Um, Before I even had an addiction, I've already had uh, behavioral problems. I was 12 years old when I got incarcerated. That's where my um, journey with that has started. I've always been a problem child. I've been expelled from school 4 times. Um, I couldn't. I could not complete a school year. As soon as when I made it to middle school, it was a wrap. I couldn't complete the school year at all. And they would send me to the alternative school. And then I went to an RTC.
And
And
all this was before the drug. All this was before the addiction.
well, before the hard drugs, okay, I started experiencing smoking pot when I was 8 years old. Um, I took my first drink when I was 10. I I guess you can say, I've always been like a party girl. Um, how I grew up, it was a party life, you know. To me, that was normal. That's that was the normal, and I went I went through some some stuff growing up. Uh, I mean, I'm not one of the ones that cry about the things I have been through. Actually, what I have been through, it helps me not hold grudges. I can forgive. I won't forget. But like I said, those things made me who I am today. Um, but I mean, I did a lot of wild stuff. Um, it was me and my brother, and I have other siblings, a lot of other siblings I haven't even met yet. On my father's side, my father's never been in my life. Never, he's never been in my life. But I know his name, I know who he is. And the funny thing about that is, when I mention him, everybody says that I act just like him, which is crazy. That's crazy. But me and my brother TJ, we were probably the worst kids that you could ever meet. We were terrible.
I can imagine.
Oh,
No.
we were disrespectful. I mean, and as me and my brother got older, and now we got kids, and we would always like say, if our kids ever act like us, I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna kill them. Like, we were just, it was, yeah, it was pretty bad. Um, Sorry, my mouth got dry. Um, so where should I begin? My mind is going everywhere. Um,
The street life, Mera. The street life
I know. It's like
from the woman's perspective.
yeah, I know. Mm. All right. I'll throw this one out. So after I had my son, I was 17 years old. I was 17 when I had my child. I I couldn't take care of him. I couldn't take care of him at all. But there was this situation that happened, and oh God,
That train is killing us. Come on,
yeah,
come on.
I could not take care of him. There was a situation that happened with me and my family, and they had to take my kid from me. Um, and I got thrown out the house. And he was still an infant. I was going through all these different emotions, and I just felt so betrayed. I felt so betrayed, and that was the worst pain that I ever felt. Um, Still to this day, it bothers me. I still kind of carry resentments for it. So I'm still, growing through that situation. I'm working on it still. So when that happened, I started getting addicted. I got addicted to crack cocaine. Um, because when I was on the street, I got involved with people that were drug addicts. And I stayed at this house with all these other drug addicts, which would be a trap house. And I only smoked marijuana then. And I wasn't trying to even do that. But they saw how I was so miserable. I was so depressed. Weed couldn't even take away the pain that I felt because I love my son so much. Um, I love him so much. And the pain of what I went through and him pretty much being snatched from me, it hurt me so bad. I didn't know what to do. So the first person was like, here you go, man. Like, try this out. I'm telling you, it's going to make you feel better. And that's pretty much what they said. And I was like, all right, screw it. Let's do it. And it wrapped me up. It wrapped me up. So I started being addicted to cocaine. So one thing led to another. A year later, I'm 18 years old. And I got introduced to this guy. He's been hearing my name all around Frederick City. And he was a pimp. And so I started running around with him. But he took me out to DC. And I got to experience this type of life that you would watch pretty much on documentaries of like human trafficking. And there was this movie called American Pimp and stuff. Like, I remember watching that movie and I got to actually experience that. It was a pretty scary life, but I had so much heart that I went in, and it was one hell of an experience. And it's probably going to sound crazy, but I
What
don't
does?
regret it. I don't regret going through what I went through.
Yeah.
It taught me something, because a lot of people don't get to experience something like that. I got to see a lot of stuff. I survived a lot of stuff, but me going through what I went through there at that time of going around with him, I could save somebody else from going through it. But anyways, So he took me to DC, and mind you, I was like a tomboy before I got with him. I only wore sneakers, a sweatpants, and t-shirt. Like that was my style. That was no more. Okay. He got me these damn heels, and he put me in a dress and made me up. And he took me down to this part in DC called 14th and K Street. And I never walked in heels before. And that was the only shoes I was able to wear since being with him. And I remember walking on what they would call the blade or track, walking on that track. And my feet were so bloody and blistery. By the time that I was done, I couldn't even walk on my feet. I had to like pretty much like walk on the sides of them. Like my ankles were snapped. That's how bad it was. And my first 3 days actually experiencing the blade, my first 3 days, I got into this really messed up situation. And the first thing he told me was, you don't mess with young guys and you don't mess with black dudes when you're doing this, okay? Well, I'm hard-headed and I'm stubborn, and I didn't listen to him. Yep, I did not listen to him. So I got in a car with this younger black gentleman, and he took me in an alley on 10th Street. And when I turned my head to go in my purse to get something, he punched me in my head and he put a gun to my head. And he raped me and he made me do something else to him. And I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. And I don't know what the hell happened, but there was a cop, just one cop, riding on a bicycle, coming in there, and he's like spots us in his car, and the dude's like telling me his name, and I'm like, I make up some name. I'm not telling you my damn name. So he's telling me his name, and the cop takes us out the car, and I forgot the dude's name, so I'm making up all these names or whatever. But the cop was cool. But the thing was, I didn't want to say nothing to this cop because I just had this feeling. Because at the time about DC and how things were going on down there, they were killing cops out there. And there's only this one white cop that had a freaking little gut on him. Like, he wasn't muscular or nothing. This little puny like guy.
Andy Griffith.
Yeah. Poor guy. I'm like, yeah, oh shit. You know, he's got a gun. Dude's got a gun on him. I'm like, he would have blown this officer away. Mind you, he's in this car. This dude's got this car, and he don't even have a driver's license. And you know, I don't know. This whole situation was weird. But the cop was like, I'm gonna let you guys, you know, walk away, you know, but you're going down this way and you're gonna go this way. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So I started running down the damn alley, and the guy, he comes around, right? And I got my heels in my hands. I took them joints off and I'm running. And the man is screaming my nickname, the dude that just did this to me, you know, and he's screaming my name, and I turn around and I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, like that. And I'm like, man, when my peoples get a hold of you, you're fucked, dude. And I started taking off running. But I couldn't believe that. It was just mind blowing. Like, his man is yelling at me, telling me he's sorry. What? I don't know. But So when I finally got a hold of, my pimp, I'm bawling, I'm crying, and I'm telling him what just happened. And I had to go back out there 2 minutes later, right back on the blade, right back out there. And, so I constantly had to just, let's just say, all right, there's rules and regulations to that type of thing. It's not just, you wouldn't think it's like, how can I say this? You don't just, all right, I decide I want to go walk out here and I'm going to put on some sweatpants and, tennis shoes, and I'm going to just walk out here and I'm going to go have sex for money. And I'm going to go out there by myself and I'm going to be able to do what I want, and it's not like that. No, they'll kill girls like that out there, prostitutes and pimps. They will. You can't just go out there like that. No, you can't. If they catch a female going out there in flat shoes and you look crazy like that, you're going to get beat the hell up, You're you better, I hope you survive it. Like that's not happening. Like you have to really so when y'all walk down the street, there'll be other pimps. And it's like I'm telling you, it's like a video game type thing. It's crazy. And they'll come up and they'll start talking this pimp stuff to you, but you can't look at them. You can't say nothing to them, not at all. And I got to keep my head down, because if you look up at them and you look in their face, that means you pretty much chose them. Then they could take you at, then they could pretty much take you. And then that dude, the pimp that's taking you because you looked at him in his face, he's got to go up to your old pimp and he's got to tell him, your bitch just chose me type thing. And they're either going to be mad about it and be like, all right, bet, like whatever, or it's going to get violent, or some crazy stuff. Now, I've been in a situation out there where I was in a freaking pimp huddle. I didn't know what the hell to do, and I'm comical, okay? I'm a comical person. I'm pretty wild, and them pimps be like, where the hell did you find this one at? She ain't from out here, right? Because I was off the chain out there. I'm surprised I did not get killed. I'm gonna tell you this now. But anyways, there was I don't even know how many of them were around me, surrounding me. It had to have been 6 or 8 of them. And when you're in a situation like that, you can't look up. You look down. And all these pimps, and they're all sitting there, they're talking all this crazy stuff to you, and you cannot look up at them. You can't look. If you look up at them, one of them, they take you. That's what the pimp huddle is. This is pretty much you're on auction right now. As soon as you look at one of them in their freaking eye like that, other than when, what I'm saying, when you're on the street and you're in that type of, yep, you are definitely, it doesn't matter. You're going with them. So I was had to remember where the man, my pimp's shoes was and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I don't even know what's going on. I absolutely could not. I knew right then and there that wasn't game time, because usually I just would be disrespectful and what they would call disrespect pimping, because I cuss them out and stuff like that. That's not a no-go. My pimp would whip my ass in front of people, on the street and stuff like that. And that's why they was like, where the hell you find her at? But I knew right then and there that wasn't the time to do that. I just knew it. And so I had to find out where he was and stuff. It was just craziness when I was out there, I had knives pulled out on me on other from other prostitutes because they were jealous. Um, then I turned 19 and I got charged federally for human trafficking. So that was a big case out in Montgomery County. That was I pretty much did. I did like 3 years on that one for that situation, and then I get out after that. So I got that on my record is human trafficking. Okay, and the first thing people think when you hear human trafficking is, oh, you were selling kids. No, no, that's not what that is. Okay. Now there is certain, certain situations, there's different levels of this shit, human trafficking / pandering. It's considered pimping. So, they would hire, it's so hard for me to get a job. And it was so hard for me at certain places like halfway houses or treatment centers to even have me either hire me or have me come there because of my human trafficking. They would rather hire a murderer before they would, or have them come into their program before me. They look at me completely different without even asking me what had happened, because they automatically think of the worst. I would never sell a child. That's not what I do or anything. So there's different levels of it. But they have this, thing about the hashtag movement thing and stuff like that. And they just put it out there that that's pretty much what human trafficking just is. You selling kids and stuff. And that's, in my case, no, it's not. But after I had got out of there for that, not 8 months later, I got involved with an abduction and armed robbery case. And I went to prison for that one. So I end up setting up this drug dealer, and there was 9 of us involved. 6 of us got charged, and only 2 of us went to prison. Was me and some other guy for that. So I ended up getting 15 years suspended, all by 8 for that case. But I did over 2 years, a little over 2 years, and went to what they called an 8505 and 8507. If nobody knows what that is, an 8505 is the evaluation for, like, if you take an IQ test, to see where you're at mentally for schooling or whatever. Well, this is your drug IQ test at 8507 to see what treatment center would be best for you, if you need a 3-month treatment or 3 to 6 months or 6 to 9 months. So they score you for that. And then the 8507 is the commitment to the treatment. So, but I ended up getting kicked out of the treatment facility. I don't have nothing nice to say about that facility, actually. I don't. I have nothing nice to say about that facility. I'm really not gonna put it out there, but it's called Mountain Manor. Actually, I'm going to put it out there, and I don't recommend it. I honestly don't. Sorry, man.
It's all right. I want to know, like, with your experiences, all the experiences that you talked about, all the experiences that you've gone through. What do you have for other women that may be in the same situation, or maybe either the rehab side or the lifestyle side? Women that may still be in the lifestyle or women that are in the recovery phase? What type of uh, hope, what do you have as far as information for them?
Okay. So I'm just going to say this too. Like I said, I'm learning how to speak. They say, like, Avenues taught me how to, don't say that because you speak it to existence type thing. And then actually that is true. I have always been a hellraiser. Okay. Always, all my life. I am one of them ones that keeps it real. Okay. I I was never the one that wanted to get sober. All I wanted to do was rip and run the streets. That's it. I Running the streets was exciting for me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't sit on this damn porch and I don't reminisce about some of the things that I would do out there. Sometimes it got exciting. I had fun, you know, and I think about, like, it was pretty much like a childhood thing. Like, I still being a child, ripping and running the streets, sneaking out. That's what it just felt like to me. It was just always exciting. I am still having trouble with still thinking about not the actual drugs, but I guess you could say the chaos. Um, because I don't like to be bored. But I'm learning that boredom is peace. And we don't know what to do with peace. And we constantly say that all the time. I just want peace in my life. But when we have peace in our life, we do not know what to do with it at all. So, and I'm saying this because I have never got it right before, ever. This is the first time in my life I've actually had a mindset the way I have today. I feel so good today that I'm not using drugs. I constantly had to be high. And if I was not high, even when I was incarcerated or anything, I thought about it every single day. It never left my mind. And I would just sit there and I plot on it. I can't wait to get out of here. I gotta get high. I cannot stand being sober. I don't know how people can do this. How can anybody stay sober? This makes no goddamn sense. It just didn't to me. Not at all. It's like I really would think about that. How can anybody stay sober? That's got to be freaking miserable. I have never in my life felt like how I'm feeling today. It's mind blowing. I'm serious, and you can say it all you want. I wish I can take people and put you guys inside of me right now to know what it feels like. Cause holy hell, it's mind blowing to me. I'm like, holy shit, this is what they mean. Oh my God, I'm experiencing this. So what I'm doing right now, of course, it's a mental health thing too. I am on medications, you know. Um, and matter of fact, I am going to put this out here. So I didn't believe this. There's this medication called Topamax. Okay. Me, I never, I didn't get on heroin, you know, I didn't experience being a heroin addict. That wasn't my type of thing, but I definitely was a crack addict. Okay.
Join the club.
And, huh?
Join
You
the
said
club.
what? Oh, yeah.
Join the club.
Yes, definitely a crack. And I'm telling you now, I freaking love crack. I do. That's my thing. Serious. Um, so I didn't believe they said Topamax helps with cocaine cravings. I just started October Max while I was in Avenues this past year, and it works. I swear to you, it works. Um, so I would actually advise it. I can't believe it because I don't have this compulsion thinking about it every day. I don't. I wake up I'm not really a morning person, but today I would sleep till dinner time. I'm telling you, I'm not a morning person. And anybody
Oh,
that knows me will tell you that I am a freaking beast when I wake up. I'm ready to kill you. Like, you know. But today when I wake up, sorry. when
I
I
was messing. I was
oh
messing. Messing.
when I wake up, I'm waking up all early and I'm like, good morning. How are you doing? Hello. Yes, we're going to have a great day.
Nah,
That's just,
I ain't. Nah, I ain't doing all that. I don't care what you got me on. I ain't doing all that.
I, I
Now,
definitely am. It's funny. It's funny because, I guess I like people's reactions are like, no. Like, wait, yes, this is a great day. um,
so when you talked earlier, when you talked about the you just talked about the medications, right? And that's a big part of a lot of people's story is medications and medication assisted treatment too. But we talked about the hope for other women. You know,
yes,
we talked about that a minute ago. The hope for other women, because we're about to wrap this up in a couple minutes.
yeah.
But the hope for other women. What you explained your lifestyle previously, and you explained your lifestyle now. How you feel about yourself now, and the way that you live your life now. What is what we know the difference. We know what the difference is, but how do you bring all this stuff about? What is your way? What is your tool now? What are your tools for making your lifestyle as valuable as it is right now?
Well, I'm just taking it day by day because I don't know what I'm doing, but I have a support network. Okay. I have a support network and I'm getting guidance. I do have a sponsor. Um, I do go to meetings. I take people's advices that are have walked in my shoes. And what I'm taking suggestions. You just have to be willing for that, and that's what I'm doing. I'm learning. I'm being willing for that, and like I said, being in this halfway house, and you know, watching even the girl, like the some of the the other girls that's living in here that's like not staff members but the other chicks that's living in here with me, that's been here before me, and seeing what they're doing and stuff like that to help me figure out what I need to do. So I'm still actually learning what I got to do. I even had a job interview today.
Hmm.
um
Yeah,
I don't have,
yeah.
yeah, I had a job interview today, but unfortunately I didn't get it. I'm still like, I got another job interview. I'm not going to stop trying. It didn't discourage me or anything, you know. I've even went for my learners. I've never had a driver's license in my life, but I'm going to, I've taken the steps to go into the MBA and getting my learners, but I failed the test, but it still ain't discouraged me. I'm still trying. But a support network is like I said, it's the biggest thing. You cannot do this by yourself. You need other people that are just like you. Like that's been there, done that. That's really what's going to help you get through this. People that's experienced and is done what you've done and what they are doing now, that have mean sobriety time and stuff like that. So that's all really, like I said, I'm still learning. This is my process. I got a year clean next month. Next month on the 22nd, it's been a year, and I cannot believe it. That just is mind blowing to me. That I must have a year sober, and I'm not in jail. That's
Well, it
wild.
should actually one thing I learned is it shouldn't be mind blowing because it might be mind blowing, but it was told to me that it shouldn't be mind blowing because you made the decision and you put in the work. So accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know. But that's gonna do it for us for tonight, Mera. And I just want to say, Mera Shakur.
Oh, God.
I just want to say, thank you for the information that you shared. And the reason why I always say this, the reason why I like doing what I do here on this platform is because we never know who we're going to reach, even if it's just one person, like they always say, and it sounds so cliche, but we never know who we're going to reach. We never know what type of information we're going to dispense that somebody else might pick up on. So I just wanted to say thank you. Is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap this up, Miss Mera?
No, just other than if I can do it, you definitely can do it. I'm trying to tell you, you can. I promise that. That's some real stuff. Real stuff. That's it.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Mera, for being on tonight. Thank you for sharing so openly and candidly. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Everything for the individuals that we're watching the episode later, live. I mean, on YouTube. So, we're just gonna end by saying we do recover, and Mera is a prime example of the street life from the street life to recovery from a woman's point of view, from a woman's perspective. Thank y'all. Good night. Be safe. Be blessed.
Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through. Every Wednesday night, new topics ignite. Join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reaching new heights.